Right now, I want to kind of draw their attention to House Bill 4, which will jail librarians and also ban transgender people in the library and in public schools.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
We've got this voicemail here from a listener in Birmingham about some events that are happening in the area. Let's go ahead and play this clip.
Hey, Adam. Hey, Jacob. This is Daniel from Birmingham. I'm a member of the Sand Mountain Cooperative Education Center, and I wanted to just shout out 2 events that are coming up in North Alabama that your listeners might be interested in. The first one is a moderated panel on community and the power of social connection. We have Zach Hayden, who started a mutual aid, pay what you can automotive clinic called the Automotive Free Clinic. We have a man named Jarrell Jones, who started a community nonprofit in West Birmingham, which drops crime significantly. And we have a good friend of ours who did a study on the effects of social isolation and loneliness and friendships across class in America in 2024. And they're going to be talking at the cabin. I can give Adam and Jacob the information about how to register for the event, but this is on March 13th in Garnersville. And then on April 5th and 6th, we have a kind of version of that on steroids where we have workers and scholars, and even your very own Adam Keller coming to the cabin for our Brick and Barn conference supported by the Alabama Humanities Alliance. And so they can send you the information on how to sign up for that as well. We'd love to loop everyone into what we're doing. We do cooperative education. We help people start worker cooperatives and just generally try to provide workers with an outlet to organize themselves and build power. So we hope that you'll join us for those events on March 13th and then on April 5th and 6th. Thanks so much.
So there you go. Those sound like really cool events. You know, the isolation has been a huge problem. And I actually just saw this graph last week that showed that the proportion of 12th graders that hang out with friends 2 times a week or more is down almost at historic lows. Is like not much higher than it was during the pandemic, but it had been trending downward up to the pandemic for the last decade. And supposedly like 20 years ago, the amount of 12th graders, seniors in high school who hung out with friends 2 times a week or more was like 85%. And now it's only like 55 or 60%. Which, like, and I don't know if it's just because I'm part of the decline, right? Because I was a senior in 2015. So, you know, but like hanging out with friends twice a week sounds like a lot. Like, I don't, you know, I mean, obviously, especially now as an adult, like significantly fewer adults do that. But even in high school, like, I wonder if that study was counting, like, counting like practices for sports and stuff as hanging out with friends. I don't know, but I definitely did not hang out with friends twice every week just as a social kind of thing. But, you know, anyway, so the social isolation has been really, really bad. So they're gonna be having an event talking about that. And we put the registration link in the chat and in the description of the program, and then Adam is going to be talking to them later about labor organizing and stuff like that later on in the month. We've also got the registration for that in the chat as well. Not a paid promotion. They're just a listener doing some stuff and wanted to let our audience know they might be interested, and I think the audience might be interested too. So.
Yeah, absolutely. A big fan of Daniel and all they're doing in Sand Mountain with the Cooperative Education Center. So look them up. They're doing good work. I agree about the isolation issue. That came up in our conversation with Eric Blanc last week when we were talking about labor organizing and how, you know, compared to earlier generations, we have to do a lot more work on the front end when it comes to building relationships, building trust, building belonging. I mean, just convincing people to have conversations with people that they don't really know very well, just getting out of your comfort zone. Those are all things that we have to work on because ultimately, it's required to make positive social change, whether it's in the workplace, the community, or in politics. So, appreciate that. And thanks for the voicemail. And just want to remind folks that if you want to do the same thing, if you have some cool stuff you're working on, particularly here in our listening area, definitely give us a voicemail, 844-899-TVLR. You can do that anytime throughout the week. We'd love to hear reports from across the state and across the South. What's going on in your union? What's going on in your community? What's going on, politically? Love to hear those reports.
Absolutely. Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate. We do have one more voicemail from another caller about a bill that is before the state legislature. Let's listen to that.
Hello, Adam and Jacob and Valley Labor Report listeners. This is Marissa from Huntsville's At the Root Collective in the North Alabama Democratic Socialists of America. Wanted to call and leave a message and hope that your listeners are paying attention to the many bad bills that are coming through the Alabama State Legislature. Right now, I want to kind of draw their attention to House Bill 4, which is a bill that will jail librarians and also creates a ban on transgender people in the library and also in public schools. This is a huge infringement on worker rights of doing their jobs. And basically what is happening within this bill is that they are being asked to, shelve materials that people are not going to be offended by changing the definition within the Alabama Obscenity Code for sexual conduct to include some pretty vague wording around gender-oriented conduct. So it's good for your listeners to know that they should be writing to their House of Representatives and if they want to take a look, we've got a draft message. We've worked in collaboration with the Alabama Transgender Rights Coalition, and you can go to their website. That's Altrac, ALTRAC.works. And under there, you'll find a link to HB4 that'll take you directly to call your legislator to let them know that you do not support this bill. The bill will allow just anybody to come after a librarian for shelving a book that they believe is considered sexual conduct. What we know out of other states, such as Arkansas, where it was ruled, a similar bill was ruled unconstitutional, is that these laws are very vague. They're a violation of First Amendment rights and a violation of 14th Amendment rights as well. What we know for librarians who will be fearful of not just their jobs, but also having to potentially be criminally liable for doing their jobs, is that they will probably overcorrect. And that means that they're going to violate our First Amendment rights by not shelving material that they're afraid that might get them arrested. So I just wanted to call and let you all know and just tell your listeners to head over to altrac.works. That's ALTRAC .WORKS. And they can find there a whole list of actions. What I'm talking about today is around House Bill 4. Lots of information in there. If your listeners want to hold a letter writing party, there's information about that. And if you want to do just a little quick email to your representative, there's also a form letter in there that you can adjust and send on. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Solidarity, y'all.
All right. Appreciate the call. Again, if you'd like to leave us a voicemail, you can do that at any time throughout the week. The phone number is 844-899-TVLR, 844-899-8857.
I was just going to add that I've heard a lot of talk about this House Bill 4, and I know that legislators have been receiving a lot of calls about it because, there's the issue of your just intellectual freedom, the ability to go to the library and, check out the books that you want to check out, but also the worker aspect in terms of librarians being held criminally liable. It's just bizarre. I'm pretty live and let live on these subjects. I think if you don't want a book in the library, don't check it out. I know that's a hot take, perhaps. I would also suggest that if you are a parent and you're concerned about what books are in the library, you should be with your child.
Right.
Just a thought, though.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.